Hi guys, it's Cooper and I. We've come to read to you tonight. I hope everybody's had a good day. I missed you guys a whole lot already. We're going to read a little more of Humphrey. So here we go. I hope Cooper likes our story. It looks like some kind of game, Og, I squeaked to my friend. I'll try to figure it out. I strolled up and down the rows of cards reading the labels. Teacher's assistant, door and line monitors, homework collectors. They're classroom jobs, Og, I squeaked. Mrs. Brisbane is pairing up 2 people for each job so they'll have to work together. Isn't that a good idea? Boing, boing, Og twanged. Bulletin board designers. Oh, and listen to this. Job. Animal handlers, I told him. Boing, 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 Og replied, splashing loudly in his tank. Now that I understood what Mrs. Brisbane's buddies were, I started reading the names that she had paired together. Paul G. and Kelsey, Thomas and Phoebe, Holly and Rosie. Holly and Rosie? I suddenly stopped. Mrs. Brisbane had worked hard and done a good job, but I had a few ideas of my own. Since part of my job as a classroom hamster is to help the teacher, I decided it would be okay for me to lend her a paw. She needed all the help she could get. I'm just going to make a few teeny-weeny changes, Og, I explained to my friend as I carefully started moving the cards around. What may seem like a little card to a human is actually a huge card to a small hamster. So it took a lot of time and effort to move them and to line them up. I was thinking so hard about what I was doing, I forgot about Aki, until I accidentally backed into his hamster ball. I guess I hit the switch because lights began to flash and the ball started to loop and twirl around the desk. Rockin' Aki, rock and roll rules. The ball spun wildly. Stop it, Aki, I squeaked. Then I remembered he wasn't real. The ball twirled across the cards, which slowed it down. Bumpity bump bump. Aki had seemed like a lot of fun when it was daytime and all of my friends were there. But now his hamster ball was rocking and rolling out of control. Twice it spun dangerously near the edge of the table. If it fell off, it would be broken forever, and Mrs. Brisbane would be very, very, very upset. There had to be some way to shut it off. I could see the little on-off button as it spun across the desk, but every time I was close to it, the ball rolled away from me. Then I spotted some pencils lying nearby. I quickly slid one pencil on either side of the ball to keep it from rolling. It worked. The ball stayed in place, but the lights still flashed and the music blasted out, Rockin' Aki, Rockin' Aki! There was still a problem. I would have to switch the large button on the ball to off. Don't worry, Og. I'll turn it off, I squeaked. Not that Og could hear me over all that noise. I wasn't sure how to approach the ball, but if I could explore the school, spin on my wheel, and swing on a blind cord, I could surely get to that button. I took a running leap and jumped right on top of it. I'd once seen a TV show where cowboys rode on bucking broncos, trying their best not to be thrown off. While the ball wasn't moving, it was still shaking like mad. Yahoo! I shouted, just like those cowboys. The plastic was slippery, but I stretched my paw way, way, way closer to the button. Ride 'em, cowboy! I yelled as the ball rolled and rocked. Rockin' Aki! The music played. I pushed the button with all of my might and it slid forward. The music and lights stopped immediately. I hadn't thought about the stopping part and I slid off onto the desk. Ouch! I'm okay, Og. Nothing broken, I said. At least I don't think so. As I lay there, catching my breath, I looked over at the little hamster in the ball, staring straight ahead with glassy eyes. Sorry, pal, I said. I was only trying to help. Of course, I had to spend more time straightening out the cards that Aki had messed up. By the time I finally got back to my cage, the room was getting lighter. Before long, Mrs. Brisbane and the strange students would be back. Of course, they'd never know about my exciting adventure. They probably thought that being a classroom hamster was easy. But even if they didn't know what I had accomplished, I was pleased that I'd done an unsqueakably good job. I think Og was too. Humphrey's rules of school. Whatever job you're doing in the classroom, always do your best, even if it makes you unsqueakably tired. Next chapter, Hickory dickory dock. Friday morning, I was afraid and a little jumpy because I thought Mrs. Brisbane might be upset that I mixed up the cards. I was also worried about Harry. All week long, I'd held my breath after every bell, wondering if Hurry Up Harry would be tardy or not. After all, he'd made a deal with Mrs. Brisbane. He did unsqueakably well at keeping his end of the bargain, but on Thursday, he had been late to school because his mom couldn't find her car keys. They were under the kitchen table. I wasn't sure whether he'd broken his end of the deal or not, so I still didn't know where I'd be spending the weekend. But I forgot about everything else when Mrs. Brisbane said, "Boys and girls, I'm now going to announce your new classroom jobs." She explained Brisbane's buddies and how the students would work in pairs. Then she described each job. Finally, she began to read off the names of the students who would share the jobs. For homework collectors, Rosie and Phoebe. Mrs. Brisbane looked surprised, and I knew why. The night before, I'd moved Phoebe to homework help jobs. Remember that she had helping Holly and rolling Rosie together, and I think maybe they weren't the best partners, so I'm not sure what happened. Helpful Holly raised her hand. "Don't you think I should do the job with Rosie?" "No," Mrs. Brisbane said. "I have another job for you." "Just keep listening." Holly looked disappointed, but Mrs. Brisbane continued. "Animal handlers will be Joey and Kelsey." Again, Mrs. Brisbane looked surprised. I just hoped that Be Careful Kelsey would be better at taking care of animals than she was at taking care of herself. Joey and Kelsey both looked thrilled. "It really is the best job," I squeaked to Og. "Boing, boing," he agreed. "Door and line monitors will be..." Mrs. Brisbane paused. She obviously knew these weren't the names that she'd chosen, but she read them anyway. Harry and Simon. I thought the pairing Hurry Up Harry and Slow Down Simon was a brilliant idea. At least I hoped so. Hey, maybe Harry'll help Simon hurry up, and Simon slow down, and Simon will help Harry hurry up. That might work. Mrs. Brisbane kept going. I thought maybe she'd ignored my next idea, but when she read the names, they actually looked pleased. Bulletin board designers, Paul G. and Paul F. Think about it. In the last chapter, those two had a problem. They don't get along very well, do they? We'll have to see if they can work together good on a bulletin board. The two Pauls did not look thrilled, but I crossed my toes and hoped my idea would work. When she got to the very end of the list, there were just two people left. "These jobs just have one person," she said. "Thomas, you will be the class reporter. That means you have to record what we do every day in a class log," she explained. "What we study, who participates, and even what the temperature is. No exaggeration, okay?" "Okay," Thomas said as he gave her a thumbs up. "Holly, you will be the teacher's assistant. That means when I need anything done, from taking a note to the office to answering the phone or cleaning the board, I will ask you. Do you think you can handle that?" Helpful Holly did. Near the end of the day, Mrs. Brisbane made another announcement. Hurry Up Harry would be taking me home for the weekend. "Yes!" Harry shouted. "This is my lucky day!" I hope it was my lucky day too. I was tired from all the late night work rearranging the cards, but a classroom hamster sometimes works around the clock, and I was anxious to get to Hurry Up Harry's house and meet his family. I had to wait a while, though, because Harry's mom was unsqueakably late in picking him up at school. Yep, I had my work cut out for me. Again. I'm going to stop right there for tonight. Have a good night, guys. We'll catch up with Harry and see what's going on with him again tomorrow. I love you all and I miss you a whole lot. God bless you and your families. Good night. Good night from Cooper.